I've got metal-faced, three-fingered Cybermen. Yay! Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Moonbase marks the return of the Cybermen and definitely sets them as a top-tier, grade-A Doctor Who monster. It's also the first Doctor Who story to be set on the moon, a location that will be returned to numerous times throughout the rest of the series. This story, like most of the Second Doctor era, is missing huge chunks. In this case, only the second and fourth episodes exist in the BBC archive. The first and the third episodes were animated in a reconstruction done in 2014, and so this morning I watched an animated episode 1 and then the original episode 2. The animation for this, I think, is very well done, and I'm very pleased they were able to do this restoration. And it only makes me that much more disappointed that the previous story, Underwater Menace, was supposed to have an animated reconstruction for 2 episodes that just didn't happen because of reasons. Now, to me, historically, the first interesting thing about this story is it features the first redesign of the Cybermen, and they'll continue to be redesigned and redesigned. In this case, they get the metal faces that they'll have for the remainder of the series, although they still only have the simple round eyes. The distinctive teardrop in the corner of the eyes doesn't get added for a long, long time yet. But even with the redesign, they're still absolutely recognizable as Cybermen. They still have the handlebars on the head, they still have the chest units, they still have the silver bodies. They are absolutely recognizably Cybermen, just sort of Cybermen v 2.0. Another interesting thing about the story is that the scripts were written before Jamie McCrimmon was intended to be an ongoing companion. See, when the Highlanders was being filmed, Jamie was just another character in the story. He was never supposed to carry on with the Doctor and the TARDIS. But the people on set enjoyed working with him so much, and he gelled so well with Patrick Troughton, that he was invited to become a permanent member of the cast. He accepted, and the rest is history. That, however, left a problem with Moonbase, where his character wasn't in the original script, and they really didn't have anything for him to do. So in order to deal with that, they basically have Jamie give himself a concussion and some space sickness early on in the first episode, and then he spends most of the story unconscious in sick bay, occasionally waking up to rant about the Phantom Piper coming to take him to the afterlife. And so even with this being Jamie's third story, it's the one in which he has the least active involvement, and that's kind of a shame, but not really surprising given the context. The final thing I want to talk about today, and I'll get to story tomorrow, I've got 2 more episodes to watch, but I keep on this ridiculous project running into weird pieces of synchronicity. And in this case, it's not really a great one. See, one of the core plot elements to this story is a mysterious virus that is spreading throughout the crew. One by one, members of the Moonbase crew are stricken with a disease and rendered unconscious, and in most cases, ultimately dying from this disease. When I originally watched this story a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, that's pretty creepy. As I'm watching this story today, knowing that tomorrow afternoon I'm getting on a plane to fly from Florida to Washington State, to Spokane, not the Seattle area, but I'm specifically flying to visit my mom because I'm concerned about her health. And I'm doing that right in the midst of a global pandemic, in which all signs are that it's going to become increasingly worse in the next week. This story gives me some pause watching people collapse from an illness, I gotta tell you. So I say all that to say this. Tomorrow I'll wrap up the Moonbase in the morning, and I'll get my Sweaty Thoughts episode for that published, ideally early in the day. And then in the afternoon, I am flying out of state and I'll be gone for 6 days. So I will be completely offline. There will be no new episodes of Sweaty Thoughts for the better part of a week. I don't want you to be worried about me. I know that many of my thousands and thousands of imaginary viewers will be concerned when I don't post a new video for several days. So don't worry, I'm fine. I'm just going to check on my mom, and I'll be back in a week. That'll happen tomorrow, but that's it for today. I'm going to wrap it up now, and I will see you tomorrow morning for the conclusion of Moonbase.